All right. Guys, I've been to the mountaintop, and I got something to say, all right? I'm unveiling the new long-term profit goal. Are you guys ready for this? Drum roll, please. This is going to blow your mind, okay? This is what we're going to do. This is good.
$30 million? There's only two of us.
We made $63,000 in gross sales last year. That's everything.
Okay, look, I'm a visionary. Okay, what you're witnessing right here, this is leadership. I'm looking at where we're going to be 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now. Did Henry Fonda, when he invented the Model T, were they sitting around going, how are we going to build this car? No, okay? They got their hands dirty, they grabbed the bull by the horns, and then they killed it.
Okay, so what's the plan?
Step one, okay? We're going to maximize efficiency. Number two, write this down. Number two, step three, emulsification. Listen, if you guys follow those steps, we're going to hit our goal by the winter of 2032. Okay, what an incredible Christmas that'll be. All right, so you guys know what you're doing?
No.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to hit the links. Ooh, Daddy likes.
Get ready to enter the Thrive Time Show.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
We started from the bottom, now we're on the top. Teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of five, that's why I'm a dive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the C&Z up on your radio. And now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom and we'll show you how to get here.
Yes, 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 and yes, Thrive Nation, as we are talking today about how to grow a successful company, I want to make sure we're on the same page here that if you decide to achieve success, you are engaging in something that is not normal. If you have massive success, it is not normal. So I want to ask you this question. I'll pull up some stats that will support this idea. Devin, why do you think that 96% of businesses fail? Now, before you answer, is it 96% of people that fail, or is it 96% of businesses that fail? But I'll ask you a question. Why do you think that 96% of businesses fail?
They don't have what it takes.
Like, what do you mean? What do you mean?
They can't, they're excited about the idea, and then they don't have what it takes to execute the idea and to stick with it enough for it to be successful.
James, what do you think?
They're not good at sales. They're not good at generating leads, and they just don't have what it takes.
So I'm going to walk you through why 96% of businesses fail. We're going to get into that today. I'm going to teach you how to become very successful. But I want to make sure you get this notable quotable from Winston Churchill. And Devin, could you please read this quote with the authority and emphasis that is required?
Yes. You have enemies? Good. That means you've stood up for something sometime in your life.
So you got to think about this for a second, okay? So if you have a workflow, it's called a workflow, or the system with which your business operates within your workflow, it's like your blueprint of how your business should run. If people won't follow the systems, do you have the emotional fortitude to make the people follow the systems? And let me kind of give an example to this, okay? So this is one of our longtime clients called Papa Gallo's. They do a good job. Okay, they do a great job. Papa Gallo's Pizzeria. They're in Satellite Beach, Florida. We've helped them to grow their company dramatically. Now I want to ask you this question, James. We've helped them do this. They have a checklist for the music that's played in the pizzeria every day. Do you think they've ever had an employee that's tried to change the playlist?
Oh, of course.
Really?
Almost every day, I'm sure.
Come on. Really?
Yeah, they don't want to hear the same songs over and over again.
Right. So there's a little bit of pushback just on the sounds. Now they have a checklist every day to clean the bathrooms and to clean the restaurant. And Devin, do you think they ever have a problem with someone not wanting to follow the checklists?
Yes.
Now they have a schedule they roll out for their employees. They say, Carl, you're working on Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night. You're working Tuesday through Saturday. Eddie, you're working Monday through Thursday. Sarah, you're working Wednesday through Sunday. Do you think they ever have employees that don't want to follow the schedule?
Oh yeah.
Do you think they ever have employees, James, that want to eat all the dough?
Oh, of course.
Do you think there's ever employees that want to give their friends free stuff?
All the time.
Come on. Why are you so negative about their business? No, seriously, I want to ask you, why would you say that? Why would you say that?
Well, people are people, and
People are people?
74% of people steal from their employer.
75% of the U.S. Chamber.
Yeah.
So okay, so let's talk about it. So if you're going to hold people accountable, you're going to have enemies. You know, so I was making a list yesterday of the people in my life that have screwed me by more than $10,000. You know, like they stole money from me in excess of $10,000. I'll just read off first names. Jim. Now, Tim stole about $50,000 to $70,000 a month every month for a couple years. That's Tim.
That's not the move.
Now, Jim is more like $2,000 or $3,000 a month. So Jim is like $30,000 a year. Tim is like $70,000 a month. And then these are real things. Ben kind of rhymes with Tim and Jim. Maybe it's that sound.
That's
Jim.
that one
I
syllable.
hope not.
I'm just saying though. So Ben, this guy definitely screwed me. This is what this guy would do. We have a dumpster out here. You seen the dumpster?
Yes.
And I would come. This is before you started here, but we'd get to work and the dumpster's full of like a couch. There's a couch up in there. There's like all this stuff, and I'm like, hey, are you filling up the dumpster with stuff? Yeah, why? I'm like, well, because it's my dumpster that I pay for. I pay thousands of dollars a month. What are you doing? Just starting my own business. So are you having the employees who work here work for you, work with you on your business during company time? Yeah, that happened. These are just examples. Josh, got him Josh. This guy, Josh, stole hundreds of thousands of dollars. No, Josh is the guy I knew from church.
Ooh.
Now, we'll have one guy. I don't want to mention any part of his name because he's like a litigious kind of guy, but he wears small shirts and just does a lot of steroids, you know. No, seriously. But this guy, I mean, it's at least $15,000 a month for a couple of years. Now, Ryan, man, it's a lot. It's a lot. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. Dan. Oh, Dan screwed me, but to a couple $100,000. Matt, it's like $100,000. Ooh, this is a good one. And we'll get another guy named Josh. That's at least $100,000. And I had this list, and I could. This is just.
It is a big list.
It's a big list. I could keep going.
Yep.
But the thing is that, you know, I'm not worried about it. It's not like I wrote it down, but you know, I do that because there was a situation going on, and someone made the comment to me. They're like, "Man, I just feel like you get screwed a lot," you know. And I'm going, "What?" They go, "Well, a friend and I, we were talking the other day, and it seems like there's a lot of people that used to work with you that either love you or hate you. I think it has to do with kind of your personality." And this person who's never had success in business is telling me, like, just happened just yesterday. And I go, repeat it again. They go, a bunch of guys from church, we were talking, and we were saying that I feel like you get screwed a lot. And there's people who they work for you, they love you or they hate you. And I think it might have to do with your personality. And I said, so what are you saying? Like, well, I just think your personality. I said, so, and who screwed me? Or who are you aware of? And they go, oh, this person screwed you. And I said, well, I think there's many more than that. I think there's probably at least 50 people that have screwed me to that extent or more. I'm going to have to write their names down. I'll call you. You know? And I say this to say, why do you think, if I've been self-employed since I was 15 years old, and I'm now 42 years old, why do you think that's happened? Devin, why do you think there's been that many people?
I mean, I feel like it's just the part of the game.
But it is part of the game.
And the way, you know, if someone, you know, jackassery, you stop it. So people get offended, you know, following up and all of that, people could just get offended.
Now, again, I'll go back to softball because you played softball.
Yes.
Umpires, you know, they have to call strikes, balls, whatever, right. You know, referees, sporting events, out of bounds, inbounds,
right.
You know, inbounds, outbounds, you do. And they're not going to make everybody happy.
Right.
And as a business owner, you have to hold people accountable. So that means that the people that are screwing you aren't going to like you.
Yep.
And what percentage of people steal from the workplace?
75.
Now, how will be the only way to get those people to not be pissed at you, James? So how would be the only way to let that 75% who are knowingly, not accidentally, but knowingly stealing from you? What's the only way to get them to like you?
I guess let them steal.
Right. I guess let them steal. How's that working? Downtown Chicago.
Right.
How's that working? LA.
Not good.
How's that working? Atlanta. Okay. So now we go to page 145. Okay. You have to fire those who you cannot inspire and who cannot do what is required. You can fire those you cannot inspire and who cannot do what is required. Now, this is all you can download. You go to thrivetimeshow.com/millionaire. You can download my newest book. And in this book, A Millionaire's Guide, How to Become Sustainably Rich, you're going to find this stuff here. But why, and again, you can read the book yourself, but why do you have to fire people that aren't willing to do what is required or who just can't do it there, Devin?
Well, because then you would have to, because you have your culture that you want. And if people aren't going to follow it, then you're not going to change your culture to fit their weirdness.
Wait a minute now. Repeat what you just said.
You can't change your culture to fit someone who you can't inspire. You can't change your culture to fit their weirdness.
Okay. So how to build a business culture. Okay. This is big here. Culture is just that which you allow to grow. So whatever you allow to happen grows, and that becomes your culture.
Yep.
Right? Got it? Okay. So I'm scrolling down. These are deep thoughts. These are deep thoughts in my book. You can read more about it later, okay? But can you read the deep thoughts there, Devin, please?
Yes. Fire people who will not do their jobs, even and especially if they're family.
You have to do it. Because if you have family, James, if you have family that knows they can't be fired, have you ever worked in a business or been around people where they have someone in their family that cannot be fired?
I have not.
Have you ever seen this, Devin?
Oh, yeah.
And it's rough because everybody knows why they work there.
Yep.
Because they're unfireable, right?
Yeah.
So what I like to do, these are pro tips I have on page 146, okay? You have to write up people often and fire bad hires quickly. If somebody's nefarious, they're lying, cheating, stealing. Last week, true story, Andrew had somebody who turned in $3,000 of bogus payments.
Come on.
Dude, $3,000 of bogus commissions one person turned in last week.
That's a lot.
And he has to say, hey, I don't know if you're aware, but like I can't see any sales that go with said commissions you turned in. They go, oh, I must have had the numbers wrong. They never have it wrong the other way. $3,000. Now you might say, how do I write people up? Where can I find the documentation for this? Where can I find the legally applicable, the legal documents that are correctly formatted? You can go to thrivetimeshow.com/treasure trove and you can get all those documents. But once you have the documents, if you're unwilling to actually use them, it doesn't matter. Now, Theodore Roosevelt, I'm not a big fan of Theodore Roosevelt. I'm not a big fan of like FDR. And I think Theodore, from all accounts, seems to be a good guy. I'm not a big fan of FDR. I don't really have any confusion there. Okay. But I want to ask you this question in closing before we hop into part 2, where I'm going to do a deeper dive into managing people. Why, he says here, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Why is that true there, Devin, that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care?
People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Right.
Oh, that's pretty deep. People.
James, why do people not care what you know as a business owner unless they know that you care?
Well, I think that it's because they want to make sure that your goals are aligned, and you have to know what they care about to have that alignment.
But I mean, if you're a business owner and you know everything about everything all the time, no one's going to listen to you unless they actually know that you actually give a crap about the business and about them.
Yep.
So it's this weird thing because like I give a crap a lot about you two because you two do your job. And I care a lot about the mission, but I don't care about the people that are screwing me. Does that make sense?
Of course.
I care so much about the mission that I don't care about nefarious people, but I do care about the good people. That's kind of the idea here. Yeah. So if you've ever struggled to manage people, we're going to teach you how to do that at our in-person 2-day interactive business workshops. You can learn more about it by going to thrivetimeshow.com, and you go on testimonials, thrivetimeshow.com/testimonials. And you go there, Boom. And you can watch. There's thousands and thousands of testimonials there, or you can book your tickets by clicking on the business conferences button. Now, in part 2 of today's show, we're going to do an interview with the founders of Papagallo's Pizzeria, who we've helped to grow their business by 8 times. And they're going to walk you through their processes they're using on a weekly basis, the coaching processes that we've taught them, but they're actually implementing to grow their company. So if you're struggling to manage people, you're going to want to stay tuned for part 2 of today's show. Devin, thanks for joining us. James, thanks for joining us. And if you're out there, folks, and you happen to stumble upon any Doja Cat music, don't listen to it. All right. All right, Thrive Nation, on today's show, I want to give you an encouraging word. These are actual real people, real clients we've worked with. They're not holograms, and they've had real success. And I know we're living in a challenging economy and a challenging world, but I've worked with these guys for years, and they really are diligent doers. And I just wanted to celebrate their success and let you see that it is possible to achieve massive success in this crazy world. Dave and Tricia of Papagallo's and Morning Glory, welcome onto the Thrive Time Show. How are you guys?
Hey, good. How are you?
Doing well.
I'm fired up. So, Dave, I got to start with you. How long ago was it when you first heard about us? How many years ago, or what year was that, sir?
2017.
2017. A customer actually mentioned you guys, and we looked into it. And I remember our first call, I had to hide in the storeroom to get a half an hour to talk to you guys.
So you first heard about us 6 years ago. We've been working with you since that time. Tricia, I know that you look at the numbers, and so does Dave. When you think about the growth of Papagallo's from that first call to now, and then you started Morning Glory since that time, what kind of growth have you guys seen?
Oh, God, we're at the Papagallo side. It's probably 4 times what it was when we met you guys.
And then Morning Glory was an idea, so it's kind of hard to think about the percentage of growth because it wasn't a thing yet. So, but that business is doing well too, right? Morning Glory.
Yeah, surprisingly good. Sometimes it upsets me how well it's doing so fast, but a lot of the things we're doing, we didn't do with Papagallo's because we didn't know, and we got to implement some of the things we learned from you guys with the new place, and it's taken off a lot faster.
Now, your business has a lot of things a lot of variables, and I'm going to kind of march through them, and I'm going to see if you can teach our listeners about this here. So the first thing with Papagallo's, the food has always been great. Morning Glory, the food has always been great. If people are in the Satellite Beach area, they need to check out the food. So I've never had most restaurants I work with, I have to work with them on food quality. I've never had to work with you at all on food quality. However, the one area you guys were not getting reviews from your happy customers. People love the food, but we weren't getting objective reviews, and people read those reviews. Can you talk to us, Dave, about the importance of, I know I harass you about it every week, but can you talk to the listeners out there about the importance of gathering those objective Google reviews and oftentimes video reviews as well?
Oh, absolutely. I didn't think it would be that huge when we started down that road, but every week we get people that come in and go, oh, we drove 40 miles because we read the reviews about the place. And to be honest, if we go out of town, the first thing we do is look at the reviews as well. So, I mean, you don't think it's going to make that big a deal, but it's a game changer for sure.
Now, Tricia, on the websites, we've worked to create the websites for both Morning Glory and Papagallo's, and I find a lot of business owners can get stuck infinitely doing small little minutia changes to their websites instead of building a website that ranks in Google. We've worked with you guys on building both websites, and we do have to update the menu pricing from time to time and do some things. But how much of a game changer has it been having websites that actually come up top in Google?
Well, I mean, coming up on top on Google is huge because everybody's using their phones these days to ask where they should go. So for that to just pop up top is, you can't put a number on that for what it does for your income. And the people look and search your website. I mean, Dave was writing blogs and stuff that helps with the SEO and coming up high on that. And we got a catering just from her reading one of the blogs. I mean, how do you put it?
Yeah, it's just been that part of it's been a big eye opener for me because I just didn't put that much weight on it until we started. We always kind of start with we'll try anything until it doesn't work. So we went in with that with this full blast, and it just blew my mind how well that worked.
Now, tracking results is a big thing, and I love working with you guys because You're diligent people that show up to work every day. And I don't care how good of a boss you are in the restaurant business. I really don't. No matter how great of a boss you are, you're going to have turnover in the restaurant business because young people who are waiters and waitresses, they decide to move, they get pregnant, they get another job. There's a lot of variables. And so you're never stopping recruiting. Dave, I can't tell you how many restaurants I've worked with over the years, and I tell them, listen, recruiting is a never-ending process as a restaurant owner. It's like a garden. You have to pull the weeds every week. Can you talk to listeners out there about the importance of you never stopping recruiting? Because again, I could give you all the advice in the world, but if you would not have implemented it, it wouldn't help. Can you talk to the listeners out there about the importance of never stopping recruiting?
Well, it's just from week to week, like you said, you never know. One day you don't have enough shifts, and then the next day you come in and 4 people disappear in the night. You don't even know what happened to them. And by having people lined up to come right in, it smooths over the transition. And it's this never-ending process. And it seems like lately the new younger groups that come in, the younger kids, they just change jobs every 4 or 5 months just because. You know, when I grew up, you got in a job, you liked it, you stayed. But it's not that way anymore. People change just for the sake of changing. So keeping the recruiting going keeps staff.
Now, this is a big thing. The experience itself is a wow. And I know we worked with you guys on making sure we had an intentional wow moment in terms of the decor, the atmosphere, the music, everything. And again, you guys have great food, but I'd love to get Trisha's thoughts on this. When people go to Morning Glory for the first time or they walk into Papa Gallo's, and I've had friends of mine, the Johnsons, Jared and Jennifer Johnson, actually came to your restaurant, and their comment was, wow, that's awesome. Can you talk about the importance of being intentional to make an experience that wows there, Trisha?
Well, I mean, that's the people look with their eyes first, so they don't even see the food yet. So if they're looking at your, seating or your walls, and they don't get that kind of wow from it, they're not going to get the wow from the food either, because that comes later. So it's very important, especially ladies with bathrooms and stuff is huge. If you've got a really poorly put together bathroom and the ladies got to go in there and they just don't like it, they're not coming back. Even if your food is amazing, if your bathroom isn't there, it's just a game changer for them.
Now, checklists and processes. You guys have done a great job making checklists for everything. I'm going to pull up these websites here. Again, if you're in Florida, it's worth the drive. papagallos.com, morningglory.eatery.com. It's worth the drive. You got to check it out there, folks. Checklists and processes for everything. Dave, you got to make a menu. You got to have recipes. You got to have checklists. You can go out there and make a great menu, but you have to deliver on it. And you guys do such a great job of that. You have a menu, but you got to deliver on it. So you've got the recipes and the checklists. Can you talk to the listeners out there about the importance of taking the time over these past 6 years and even before that of building checklists for everything?
Well, it's just, especially in the kitchen area, the cooks, even though you tell them certain things, if it's not written down and make them measure, everybody wants to put a little more of this or a little more of that, and then that messes with your consistency. So having that recipe and being able to see somebody putting something together like the dough recipe and see them measuring out how much goes into it versus just eyeballing it is a big deal. And if there's a checklist and you can just see, okay, it's out or it's not. And I'm constantly in the kitchen saying, are you measuring? And use a checklist, because they don't, everybody wants to put their little spin on stuff, and you just can't have that.
Now, one thing I really enjoy about working with you, Trisha, and Dave, is you're really, really wonderful people. And you guys aren't petty people. You're not, but petty means focusing on small things. You're not ignoramuses. You're not jerks. You're kind people. And so it's fun to help amplify your business and to see it grow. But growing a business, again, is like growing a garden. You have to pull weeds every week. And so every week I hop on the phone call with you at least once a week, sometimes twice a week, 3 times a week, or the website will go down, or there's a pricing increase, or something will change. Or when the COVID lockdowns happened, it was getting PPP funding, and there's just so many of these urgent things. I'd love to get your thoughts, Trisha, on what it's like to have our team available to help you in your times of need on a weekly basis. As because a lot of people view growing a business as an event, where really it's a weekly process. Can you talk to listeners out there about the value of having a weekly support team that you can trust?
Yeah, I mean, like with our menu and stuff, especially after COVID, you never know when we're going to have to change something because we can't get a product anymore, or Like exactly today, we just found out that one of our wines is discontinued and no longer available. So that's just going to put a new change on the menu or onto the website as well. The website's gone down, and all of a sudden we get a notice from a customer that it's down, and now we even have like the beach cam on it, which is huge, which you guys helped us with. So that's got to be up and running, 24/7 as well. I think with COVID, when we were going through COVID, you were ahead of the game as far as everybody else. Like we still are getting stuff for ERC credits, which we have already done thanks to you guys being able to tell us, hey, you need to look into this. So I think your help in all those areas, like you said, on a weekly basis is kept us ahead of every little thing that's come our way, especially through COVID.
Now, Dave, I have a printer guy that I probably haven't talked enough about my printer guy, but I have a guy. If you're out there listening and you're in the Tulsa, Oklahoma area, I will give you my printer guy's number, Bud. But I have printers everywhere in my office, printers, flat screen TVs, and I've worked with the guy, I think, for 10 years. And every time a printer goes out or a TV goes out, I call him, he comes by and fixes it. And I can't tell you how rare that is to have a vendor that I actually am not fighting with every week, every month. I mean, this guy is on it. Could you talk, Dave, about that? Because we work together every week, and the relationship that you and I have, I think, is very responsive, where if you have something, we knock it out, and it's sort of that win-win relationship. Can you talk, Dave, about the importance of having a team that you can trust to work with you? Because there's a lot of squirrely vendors out there.
Well, the biggest help with that is it's like we get an objective opinion on something. Like, you kind of know what you want to do on any given circumstances, but being able to pick up the phone and have access to your experience and your expertise and say, yeah, that's a good idea, or no, stay away from that because this is why you don't want to do it. And it's objective. So it's not somebody who's actually got a vested interest in what's going on, but we get an opinion really quick. And a lot of times we agree with it, and it just reaffirms that this is something you should do or shouldn't.
Now, Tricia, one of the things I did when I was growing my first company, DJConnection.com, is I had a company I hired for graphic design. And somehow, no matter what we talked about, it was always $4,000. And then I had a web guy, and every time I'd call my web guy, I don't know how, but it was always $400. Every time I talked to him, $400, 4,000 graphic design. Video guy, I don't know why it was, but it was always $3,000. And then they would never talk to each other. So my video guy, my web guy, my graphic design, and there was all these vendors, and I could never get any of them to communicate. And I always had these massive bills. How helpful is it for you doing the budgeting? I know you work together doing this, but how helpful is it for you knowing that it's going to be a flat rate every month? That's what it's going to cost.
Well, I think we've had those conversations before, with like the web and the printing, which we do a lot for at the restaurant, stuff like that. Just have one person, one place, have all of our information already, one-stop shop, instant response. We're constantly, I think since COVID, we've been talking about this a lot lately. Nobody really does their job anymore and follows up on what they're supposed to do. So we turn into being babysitters and making sure that people do their job. But we don't have that with everything that you guys do for us. We just know that we reach out to you whenever it needs to be done. Don't even worry about price. It's already, set in place, and make it happen and actually get it done and not have to babysit you.
Now,
it's huge. I mean, I don't spend on that.
My final two questions I have for you is, why should anybody out there who's in the Satellite Beach area, why should they come by Papa Gallo's and a Morning Glory? Why should they do it, Dave? Why should everybody come by at least once? I would argue people might want to plan a vacation just around the idea of coming to Morning Glory and Papa Gallo's. Why should people check it out?
I think the biggest thing is we're local. Papa Gallo's has been around for 33 years, Morning Glory going on 4. So we're part of the community. If you want to get an idea of what the community is like, some of the kids have grown up in our place working. So it's just a local place. It's a local taste of, Florida, really. Beach is right out back. You can look at the ocean and have a drink, or have a pizza or Eggs Benedict and look at the ocean. It's just a nice Florida experience. And
a lot of the comments we get with our staff is, a lot of the people go to restaurants and such, but when they come to our restaurant, the staff is always happy and are there friendly and are there to serve you, not just, oh, you're another customer, you're another table, kind of do a shoddy little job and move on. They really do care. And I think that comes from Dave, caring about the food as much. It's gone on to the staff as well. And it shows through the customers' responses.
And I'm not asking for the number on the show. I'm not asking for a specific number, but since we've started working with you, I believe Papa Gallo's is 4 times larger. And I believe Morning Glory is about the same size as Papa Gallo. Is that accurate?
Yeah, and like I said, sometimes it just drives me crazy because it took 33 years to get Papa Gallo's to that level, and Morning Glory sometimes beats it, and it just drives me bananas. But it's like I said, when we started with Morning Glory, we started with both feet in the right place and knew where we were going. Where we spent a lot of years at Papa Gallo's trying to figure stuff out, and having you in our corner to just bounce ideas off of is a huge comfort and help.
Well, Dave, I really do appreciate you guys. And my final question for you there, Tricia, for people out there that are thinking about coming to one of our workshops or thinking about hiring us for consulting, we only take on 160 clients. So I don't want to waste anybody's time out there who wouldn't be a good fit. And, I want to respect everybody's time, but who would be a good fit in your mind for what we do?
I mean, pretty much anybody. I mean, you're not a niche, one type of, like a restaurant type of person to go to. You do with all the businesses. So anybody that has a business that wants to grow their business, or even, make it better and set up the systems and stuff like that, definitely don't even hesitate. Just give them a call.
Well, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for carving out time. And folks, if you're watching today, I want to encourage you. We've had the craziest last, 3 years possible. It's never been more difficult to hire people. And Dave and Tricia have done it. They're very normal people. They're not holograms, but they're very abnormally diligent. And so if you're out there today and you're a diligent person, I want to encourage you that you too can have massive success. Thank you guys for carving out time, and we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Moore. I'm a pediatric dentist. Through our new digital marketing plan, we have seen a marked increase in the number of new patients that we're seeing every month, year over year. 1 month, for example, we went from 110 new patients the previous year to over 180 new patients in the same month. And overall, our average is running about 40 to 42% increase month over month, year over year. The group of people required to implement our new digital marketing plan is immense, starting with a business coach, videographers, photographers, web designers. Back when I graduated dental school in 1985, nobody advertised. The only marketing that was ethically allowed in everybody's eyes was mouth-to-mouth marketing. By choosing to use the services, you're choosing to use a proven turnkey marketing and coaching system that will grow your practice and get you the results that you're looking for. I went to the University of Oklahoma College of Dentistry, graduated in 1983, and then I did my pediatric dental residency at Baylor College of Dentistry from 1983 to 1985. I established my practice here in Tulsa.
The Thrive Time Show, 2-day interactive business workshops, are the highest and most reviewed business workshops on the planet.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look him up. and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.